Hi, welcome back. It's Judy Love Bowman, aka Dr. Thinkenshine. Welcome back to Dr. Thinkenshine's neighborhood. If you're new to this channel, welcome. This is the premier channel for parents, teachers, youth leaders, and those who want to see children do their very best. This is our theme song, Zuckerberg by Pax Osa. Now that's the lead. I'd rather be a nerd. I'd rather read. Hey, that's our theme song. I hope you enjoy it. That's Zuckerberg by Pax Osa. It's on the album Foreign. If anyone in your household is having a birthday this week, happy birthday from Dr. Thinkenshine and friends. And I just want to send condolences out to George Floyd's family, Ahmaud Arbery's family, Breonna Taylor's family, and all of the families who are bereaved from COVID deaths, from the coronavirus deaths. I send my condolences to you from Dr. Thinkenshine and friends, and to all of the parents and grandparents and foster parents who are out there homeschooling and have a full summer ahead of you. You're doing a great job, and I hope that Dr. Thinkenshine can be a resource to you. Just reminder, even we're not really dealing with mailing things now during this pandemic, but I do want to say that the Amazing Plate flag, Dr. Thinkenshine's Amazing Plate flag, you can make one. Or what we do at our home is we just have a special plate, one plate that's different from every other plate. So whether there's 2 of you or 10 of you, the Amazing Plate, it says at mealtime, family members take turns placing the Amazing Plate card in front of their plate. Each person at the table takes turns telling that person why they are so amazing. So put a note in the comments and let me know how the Amazing Plate's going at your house. It just builds encouragement. So if you can do it daily or at each meal. And I know a lawyer friend of mine in Atlanta told me nobody has time to have meals. But this was before the pandemic. But whether you're riding in a car or on the subway, on the way to school, just to make encouragement builds confidence. So don't forget the Amazing Plate, or the Amazing Plate flag, or the special plate, whatever you want to call it. Today we're going to put on our Governess Goggles for this segment, and we're going to look at Married to Medicine, LA. Now, as you know, the Governess Goggles segment, there's no judgment, just observations, just looking and learning. So won't you take a look with me over to Married to Medicine, LA? And this show is growing on Dr. Thinkenshine. I want to first talk about Dr. Imani, who's a psychiatrist, a phenomenal woman. Congratulations, Dr. Imani, on writing your book. She has a forthcoming book, and she told her editor, I want people to take this book and see the things that I've gone through, and I want them to know that they can get through it too. Now, that's an inspiration. So congratulations. We're looking forward to your book. And for those of you who have a book inside of you, I encourage you to go over to my other YouTube channel, Dr. Judy Online, Judi, Dr. Judy Online, and there's a 20-week tutorial on how to write your book. You can also order it on Amazon. It's called Write Your Book This Year by Judy Love Bowman, because I'm proud of Dr. Imani, because 81% of people want to write a book, but only 1% of that population actually gets around to writing it. So kudos to you, and I'm sure if you have a book inside of you, you'll travel on over to Dr. Judy Online and check out the free tutorials on YouTube. Okay, just change the channel when you finish this. Thank you. Then I'd like to continue with Dr. Imani and go on over to Dr. Britten, who's an anesthesiologist. Hats off to the doctors. All right, power to the peaches. And that's my book, Peaches, Womanist Thoughts on Finding Peace, Overcoming Peril, and Tapping Power. It's a book about black women and for black women. It was included, Nene Leakes included it in her swag bag for the Ladies of Success tour in Miami. And Candy Burris used it gave it in her gift bag at her brunch for single mothers 2 years ago at the, not this past Mother's Day, but last Mother's Day at the our Old Lady Gang luncheon for single mothers. So it's really an encouragement. It's Peaches, the book. But let's get back to Married to Medicine LA with our Governess Goggles. And let me just say that Dr. Britten and Dr. Imani took their children on a field trip to the California African American Museum. And they told the kids, we brought you here to teach you more of American history, Black history. Black history is everyone's history, American history. And it's good to get children interested in something other than digital or electronic platforms. So they were touring the museum, and as they looked at one collage, they saw one with Tupac on it, and then they saw two hands up. And one of the children asked, why is the gun pointing at someone's neck? Good question. Britten said, you can't see it very well, but it says, hands up, don't shoot. Black lives matter. All lives matter. All things matter. You know there have been times, and she continued telling the children, you know there have been times when young Black kids have been shot maybe by police. They've been shot just because of the color of their skin. And this episode aired during the week that George Floyd was memorialized in Minneapolis, Minnesota. He was memorialized yesterday. And let's just take a moment of silence for him and all of the bereaved who were killed by police, murdered by police. Amen. Bless Jesus. But George Floyd was murdered by a police officer, and it led to the largest civil rights movement in world history. Even though we're in the midst of a national, a global pandemic, it was the largest civil rights movement in world history. Britten continued to tell the children, there are some difficult conversations. No, this is what she said in her interview. There are some difficult conversations that people of color have to have with their children. And she referred to her son. He has to watch out and be careful because people won't see that he's a good person on the inside. Black kids, there's a spotlight on them. And people are expecting the worst. And we start off pretty young teaching them about it because you don't want them to get hit in the face with it and not know what to do. Unfortunately, those are the inequities going on in our country. And so Dr. Thinkenshine, in the original Dr. Thinkenshine book, Occupy Your Mind with Dr. Thinkenshine, an alphabetized discussion guide for young people and those who love them, includes over 200 topics. They're discussion topics, which include police, murder, racial profiling, racism, and it was written in 2012, so of course it's kind of dated. But these topics are really still critical in our discussions with children. Let me know in the comment section what you think about these topics and if you discuss them with your children. I think it's great that Dr. Britten and Dr. Imani discuss these with their children. Dr. Imani told Britten that she experienced racism growing up. She said one of her third grade classmates threw her to the ground and called her a dirty nigger, or a dirty N-word. She said then I, quote, beat the shit out of her. She said, unfortunately, we get the blame in situations like that. Dr. Imani continued and said, I could have cried, and that would have been perfectly acceptable. But for me, crying would have meant that the person had something over me, and I was able to take my power back. She told Britten, I knew when I was pregnant that at some point I would have to deal with somebody calling him the N-word. She said, I dealt with it last year and I handled it. Britten said, well, how did you handle it? She said, I made the other mother cry in 2 minutes. I think she was embarrassed, but I made her accountable. She said, Dr. Imani said when her son Idris told her that he was called the N-word, that she was hurt, but she was not shocked. She said, I knew this day would come. She said her son didn't have to beat anyone up. She said she tried to protect his innocence, but we live in America, and this is going to happen. She said she started talking to her son around kindergarten. whether you're black or white, when did you, say in the comments, let us know in the comments, when did you start talking to your children about race, particularly those of us who are mothers of black boys and black young men. And Dr. Thinkenshine, Occupy Your Mind with Dr. Thinkenshine is a great research source with over 200 discussion topics. And you can decide, every child is different, when you think is a good time to discuss certain things, certain topics with them. But this is critical, the race situation. It's sad, really sad. And I remember the Kerner Commission reported that we seem like two Americas, separate and unequal. Well, today we seem to be more separate and more unequal than ever. Yeah, so again, the Dr. Thinkenshine discussion guide has words like police racism, racial profiling. So, Married to Medicine, great topic. Kudos to Bravo for airing that, because they film a lot of footage and they could have easily cut that out. They could have thought it too uncomfortable or controversial. So kudos to Andy Cohen and all the people over at Bravo for including that very important segment, that very important field trip to the African American History Museum in California. And kudos to Britten and Dr. Britten and Dr. Imani for exposing their children and sharing with their children these important subjects. And we can continue to pray for America. And if you go to Dr. Judy online, we mentioned that about writing your own book like Dr. Imani is doing. But also now on Dr. Judy online, we have a special segment focusing on the reading of the P15 Passbook. It's America's Passport for Unity. So I'll be reading from that book on that channel, so you can turn that channel and see some reading from that book about race and race relations and how we need to be unified as a black race and also as a human race. But on a lighter note, Dr. Kendra, who's an OBGYN, is trying to get in shape after medical school, residency, and giving birth to her baby boy, Hart. And Jasmine, one of the doctor's wives on the show, visited her and helped her clean out her refrigerator. And was just telling her some of the healthy things. And Dr. Thinkenshine believes in eating healthy too. Fruit in My Boot is one of the 20 booklets in the Dr. Thinkenshine Goes to School series. And I'll just read a little bit from that. They're available on Amazon. I made a huge ceramic boot in art class. It took about 2 weeks to make. I was very proud of it. Before we left school for our winter holiday, Mr. Atkins, my art teacher, allowed us to bring our projects home. Since I was so proud of my super huge purple boot, I was especially careful carrying it on the school bus. When I got home, I placed my purple ceramic boot in the middle of the kitchen table. My father gets off work at the railroad at 11 p.m. I am usually asleep when he comes home, but he usually leaves my mom and me a note. After I left my purple ceramic boot on the kitchen table, my father left a whole lot more than a note. Guess what? Guess what? Guess what? The day after I brought my purple ceramic boot home from art class, I woke up and guess what? Guess what? Guess what? My father left me an amazing surprise. There was fresh fruit and dried fruit in my boot. Toot, 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 toot. Yes, fruit in my boot. It was the best surprise ever because I have never tried a fruit that I did not like. My father got grapes, bananas, apples, oranges, and plums in my boot. Although it looked cute, I had to dive into that boot. I piled up my plate with fruit upon fruit upon fruit. For later, I even put a pear in my pocket, in the pocket of my jumpsuit. That's just part of Fruit in My Boot by Dr. Thinkenshine to help the children want to eat healthy, and we all can do better. But thank you, Kendra, for being an inspiration to us, and thank you, Jasmine, for helping her. And Jasmine saw juice and read the label, and then she saw Coca-Cola, and Dr. Kendra was like, oh, don't touch that. But Dr. Thinkenshine agrees with Jasmine. Jasmine said, you should only be drinking water. I think humans are probably the only mammals that drink other things than water besides breast milk. Breast milk and water are what most mammals drink. But Dr. Thinkenshine believes Water, 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 in that order. So let's just look at that. That's another book from the Dr. Goes to School series. As I said, there are 20 books in each series. Water, 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 in that order. Water is important in our bodies. Our bodies need, use, and lose water. Since our bodies lose water, it is important to drink water. Our bodies use water in its cells and organs. Our bodies lose water when we breathe, sweat, or perspire and digest food. Since we use so much water, we have to hydrate and rehydrate our bodies by drinking water. Drink, drink, drink. Water, 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 in that order. Yes. So thank you, Jasmine, for that encouragement. We can all do better with drinking our water, water, water in that order.